So today we're using an Alakazam, and in hindsight I feel like I could have built a team around an Alakazam a little bit more, sort of focusing on Alakazam, having Alakazam being my sort of win condition. I feel like I did a decent job this time around. I brought along an Amoonguss, which I've never actually used. I have it as a sort of defensive switch. It also blocks, Leech Seed or Spore and anything like that. It also provides some coverage for my Beware here, who I have as a normal type to block out any Dark or Ghost type moves that try to, threaten Alakazam. So the three of them work relatively well. Alakazam is a fast special attacker. Beware is a bulky defensive mon who can take the hits that Alakazam usually just dies to, and then in between that we have a Amoonguss who takes, fighting hits, fighting type attacks, I should say, and it's a nice little in between. To support them in general, I also brought a Togekiss, just mainly because it's a fairy type, and it also is a flying type, so I can use it for to dodge Earthquake. But I also needed just another special attacker just to sort of balance out the team. I have the Donphan here just to spin out rocks, throw out some rocks, and do some decent damage. And finally I just have the Hydreigon here, which in hindsight I probably bought one too many special attackers. I probably should have just stuck to the Hydreigon or the Togekiss, since Hydreigon already has Levitate. But at the end of it I was like, yeah, just throw Hydreigon. My opponent here also has an Hydreigon. They have a Dual Blade, a Toxicroak, a Swampert, a Cresselia, and a Whimsicott. Here I wasn't really sure what my opponent was going to start with. I figured it was between, quite honestly, the Swampert, the Cresselia, and the Whimsicott. So in response to that, I go out into my Donphan here. They do indeed start out with a Swampert, hit me with a Waterfall, does a shit ton of damage, gets hit with the Rocking Helmet, which doesn't really do much. I hit it with a Knockoff to knock off its Rocking Helmet, which is interesting because it's after it hit me, but it doesn't matter. Then I switch, go into my Amoonguss here. He throws out the Stealth Rock, then hits me with an Ice Punch, which does a good amount of damage. I managed to put the Swampert to sleep. He decides to stay and try and burn off a turn of sleep, or basically just set him up for death fodder, because I go for the Giga Drain and finish off the Swampert. After that, they go into the Whimsicott, hit me with an Encore, which unfortunately locks me into Giga Drain here, which doesn't really do any damage. Then they use U-Turn to switch into the Dual Blade, who doesn't really take any damage from the Giga Drain as well. So I decided to switch, go into my Beware here. They go for a Sword Stance, and then I go for a Bulk Up, which pretty much sort of balances out, especially seeing as how, Shadow Claw doesn't do any damage to me. I'm not sure what this person was going for. After that, they switched into Whimsicott. I hit that with a Shadow Claw of my own, which does a good amount of damage, but unfortunately I take a Moonblast, and down goes my Beware. After that, I go back here to Dr. Faker. They switch, go into the Cresselia, who are immediately put into sleep. Or, no, I don't. I hit with a Clear Smog. I don't know why I did that. Oh, because it's a poison type move, I think. Yeah. But I get hit with a Side Shock, and then I immediately go for the Spore to put down the Cresselia to sleep, which unfortunately is a downside later on. I switch, going to Donphan here. My opponent thought I was going to spin off Rock, so they go into Dual Blade here, but I actually went for the Knockoff to knock off the Cresselia's leftovers. He finishes me off, unfortunately, with a Shadow Sneak, and then I decide to go here into my Brunhilde. He hits me with a Shadow Sneak again, which does a good amount of damage. Well, maybe not so much. I finish it off with a Dark Pulse. He goes into his own Hydreigon, but I'm Assault Vested, so I can use a different move, and I go here into Draco Meteor and finish off that Hydreigon. I stay in thinking maybe I can be faster and finish off this Whimsicott, but alas I'm not, and get taken down by another Moonblast. After that, I switch, go into my Egg White here, who unfortunately gets paralyzed by the Sunspore and becomes pretty much useless. I get hit with a Moonblast, and then also get the special attack lowering, which is, overkill at that point. After that, my opponent goes into the Cresselia. I switch, go into Genkai finally, and decide to lock myself into Shadow Ball, thinking I can finish off the rest of their team if I lock myself into Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, my opponent switches into Toxicroak, and I'm thinking, ah, shit, this thing has Shadow Sucker Punch. So I switch, go into Amoonguss, and lo and behold, I was right. Unfortunately, since the Cresselia is still asleep, I can't use Spore on the Toxicroak, so I just have to sit there, use Synthesis to bring myself back to full health. After that, I switch back into Genkai. Cresselia wakes up, uses Moonlight, and goes back to full HP. I switch again, go here into Egg White, who unfortunately takes a Thunder Wave, but was already paralyzed. But I do take a critical hit Psy Shock, which does a lot. After I do a critical hit Air Slash, which does pretty much the same amount of damage, but in hindsight, it doesn't really matter. I get taken down with another Psy Shock, and then I decide to go back into Genkai here, use a Shadow Ball here. I'm Choice Specs. Unfortunately, it's not enough to kill. I get hit with a Thunder Wave, which cripples me pretty heavily. My opponent goes for Moonlight again. I go for Shadow Ball to do damage again. Managed to get a special defense drop. My opponent thinks, alright, fuck it. Goes for Lunar Dance, which kills the Cresselia and fully heals the Toxicroak. At this point, I'm like, well, I'm fucked. I go to my Amoonguss here. He goes into Resource Stance. We need to switch, I guess, unfortunately. And then finishes me off with a Gunk Shot. I tried to go for a Spore, but obviously I couldn't. And then finally, the Sucker Punch finishes me off. Stay fresh.
He moves onward without pause until the day he completes his great quest.